You want to chat about Star Trek?
Yeah, I do.
Episode 9, The Battle. Good episode.
Why did you like it?
Lots going on.
Mm.
Lots and lots going on. And so it's all Picard-centric, right?
Yeah.
It's Picard's
His
episode.
past.
Yeah. His past, his leadership, revenge. Had a lot going on.
Okay, so 9 years ago is basically... It feels like it should take longer than 9 years to go from ensign to captain.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe that's just what happens. I don't know.
Yeah, so quickly, Picard in the Enterprise, Picard starts getting headache. And
that's unusual in the 24th century.
Fucking unusual. Like I would love to be a doctor in that time because it's so easy to be a doctor. You just take a sensor out and go, wow, I sense nothing wrong. Or I'll take you to sick bay and I'll scan you with something else. It's like me.
Just beep boop beep. Oh, you have bubonic plague.
It must be really easy to get your medical.
You'd basically have to be more engineer than doctor.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to know all the parts and stuff.
So he starts getting a headache, which is really rare.
Imagine being pain-free for, like, it's unusual to get a headache, and then it's like almost like archaic. Mm-hmm. It's like, and you have a headache? Weird.
Yeah. He goes on the bridge, and then they ask what's wrong with him, and he goes, just a slight headache. And everyone goes,
yeah. It's like, oh.
It's like coughing now. Coughing in public. COVID. Don't do it. So he gets a headache, and then suddenly the Ferengi appear. Second appearance from the Ferengi.
Do you like them so far?
Nope. I think the Ferengi suck. They are bad. I don't like them, and they're like the. You see, you're an actor, and you get to be on Star Trek, and you're like, yeah, I wonder what I'm going to be, and then they come to you and say you're going to be a Ferengi. You're kind of like, oh no.
But so like the first. Like they've kind of changed. Like there's more.
All right, yeah. The first episode
they're kind of animalistic.
They were ape-like, and bouncing around like clowns, and now they're just more like backstabbers.
All about the profit.
Yeah. So the Ferengi appear, right, and then right away, Troy says, "I have a bad sense about this. They are disloyal. They're up to some shit, right?" Mm-hmm. And then. A few seconds later, they're on the bridge of the Enterprise, beamed directly there to the bridge of the Enterprise. That just seemed wrong to me.
Yeah, they didn't. They just sort of kind of careless in the early episodes. We'll just.
They arrived, and then they were sort of following the Enterprise for a long time and not really responding to any calls. But at the end of the day, you've got this starship. It's very powerful. You shouldn't really be worried too much about this Ferengi vessel.
They should be able to handle whatever is thrown at them.
Yeah, just chill out.
I also thought it was weird that Choi, like when the Ferengi were on the view screen and she got that sense that they were being dishonest, she turned to Yar and just did that, like the cutting motion, like turn off the view screen or whatever, like cut the communications. And that seems like a little out of bounds for her, a little counselor. I don't think.
Oh, there was a lot of stuff like out of bounds for me anyway. I mean, just in terms of looking at this as an ordered structure, the idea that these people arrive, these alien race, the Ferengi, and they're known as being, quite ruthless and backstabbing and about profits, right? And then your psychologist Troy says, I sense they're up to something, some fuckery is happening, and then you just disregard that. All of that, and then say, okay, we'll beam you here in an hour.
We'll see what happens.
We will. Yeah, okay, we will be there in 1 Earth hour. All right, let's just meet you in engineering or something.
Well, was it Yar or Worf was like, you're having them here? I think it was Worf, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Like, at least somebody was like, that is ludicrous.
I think it was Worf, yeah. So was Picard already being manipulated at that time to...
Perhaps, to be a little bit loosey-goosey?
Yeah, with his command. I don't know if I like that.
Or was he being diplomatic and being like, okay, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt and we'll have him over?
Or was it they don't really know who Picard is yet, and then they just thought, well, he would be okay with this.
Maybe. A little all of the above, maybe?
Aye, probably. So they beam on, and why would you beam on directly onto the bridge to see, like, that is a I've mentioned this before, but that is the heart of a vessel, right? The it's like in football, right? The manager goes into the dressing room, and in the dressing room, he can say whatever he likes to these players. He can throw fucking shoes at them, yell and scream. It's like sacrosanct, whatever happens in there. And the bridge should be the same thing.
Man, not everybody should be able to go in there.
And I felt the same way when they had Wesley Crusher in the earlier episodes appear in there.
Mm-hmm.
And Crusher also makes an appearance here. He's got the worst taste in sweaters, that boy. The future has not. The future has not helped him with sweaters. And I feel bad because I've been looking up some stuff on the cast, and he's apparently a really cool guy. The guy who plays Wesley, and everybody really likes him. I was reading this Reddit thing last night, and it was all about celebrities you've met.
Yeah.
Who's nice and who's mean, and his name came up a lot. People like, this guy is awesome. He's brand new. He spent like an hour with us chatting and stuff. Just really generous with his time. So I feel bad about criticising the character, but again, he's just kind of out of place. He's always saving the day.
Was that supposed to be, so that the kids could watch it with their parents?
Give the kids someone to root for, and but you don't really need it, right? You don't really need it. But okay, I'm going to be less an asshole on Wesley Crusher. I'm just going to let him exist.
Okay.
Crusher exists, and he can do his own thing. So the Stargazer appears, and the Stargazer is Picard's old vessel.
Yeah.
And he's got like it was the Battle of Maxia.
But it's like he's reminiscing of older times. It's like 9 years ago.
Yeah, and
it's not that old.
And it was a very famous thing. It's like they teach it in the academy, the Picard maneuver.
Wow.
And he's, I haven't thought of that in years. Like, come on.
9 years ago.
I
thought maybe like 25 years ago. That's when you reminisce about things.
20 human years.
Human
years.
Human Riker.
So a wee bit strange. They didn't really go into the detail of his role in that ship.
He was an ensign.
Maybe that would be a good prequel series. Star Trek Stargazer. Picard, younger days.
Baby Picard. But 9 years, and he was... Am I misunderstanding it? He said it was 9 years,
Did they say he was an ensign on that ship?
Yeah, I thought.
And
then 9 years, so he's what, 60 in this? So he's I don't understand. I must have misunderstood.
I don't want to pin my old flag to something because there's going to be a mistake we made somewhere.
I could have misunderstood something. I thought it was 9 years ago, and he was an ensign, which doesn't make sense.
It wouldn't make sense if he's an ensign because later on, when he's remembering the battle, and he's on the bridge of the Stargazer, and he's recalling what happened, and back then he has so much authority. He's giving orders, and he's doing this and this and that over the smoke and the flames.
Oh, I just assumed the captain died. I'm
okay.
Confused.
Maybe the captain died. The chain of command were whittled away, and he was the one who was left.
But he would have been, if it was 9 years ago, maybe in his 50 or 40s. Mm-hmm. But he was in Starfleet when he was a kid, like a young person. I don't understand the timeline, and I may have misunderstood.
Let's just say that because we're both a wee bit confused on that part, but I'll let it slide because we're nitpicking, right? We're nitpicking on a dumb thing.
I'm not gonna go back and verify what I'm saying.
No, let's just say that it was a time in Picard's life, and he was badass.
We'll move on.
And he created the Picard maneuver, which is awesome.
Pretty slick.
It's fucking awesome, and I like them. So the Ferengi, he starts getting these headaches to get worse, and then strange things start happening where he remembers there's like an audio recording that's been faked, and then they can't really correlate. They take too long to correlate between, hey, you start having headaches, the Ferengi arrived, now weird shit's happening. Can you not just get it? They didn't really get it right away. They took too long to sort of get the picture.
Yeah, but then they didn't tie it all together really.
Ferengi were there for revenge because Picard was this they saw him as a murderer, and
he wanted revenge for his dead son, and I think that character comes up in like Deep Space Nine later, but I don't know.
Cool.
I don't know how.
Like I said earlier about the Ferengi, I don't. All right, I think now in the second time, it's only episode 9, but I've got a good sense of who the Ferengi are. But they're not a character like you wouldn't want to wear that makeup. It just who the hell wants to look like that?
Annoying.
Aye, you wanna look like Worf.
Mm-hmm.
I wanna dress up like Worf. What is Worf? Is he a Vulcan?
No, he's a Klingon.
Okay.
Vulcans have like the ears, like Spock.
Oh right, Spock ears, right? So he's a Klingon.
Yeah, and they have that big broad head with the ripples and stuff.
Did a Klingon make a lot of appearances in TNG?
Yeah.
Cool. So we're still waiting on that Worf episode, but this is a
Yar has to.
Yar's not really done much too either, and this episode didn't really. Well, a lot of people didn't do much. This was Picard's episode.
Yeah, this was his background really.
We were talking about earlier on today about heroes in a certain country, right? And how another country will see them as a villain. So Horatio Nelson would be a great hero in Britain, and but to France and Spain he's a piece of shit. Same with Napoleon, in UK we see him as a villain and so on. So the Ferengi see Picard as this, low life, and they wanna portray him that way to his people. They go on.
I mean, it was mostly just the captain that was, I don't know, like was.
So
because he wasn't really, the captain didn't.
He wasn't on it too much. He just
it wasn't
left.
A war crime.
No.
So it was mostly just the Ferengi's captain's revenge because his son was killed.
Oh yeah.
And the rest of their crew was like, I don't know what's going on. There's no profit in this. We're bugging out.
Yeah, this is bullshit. And I liked the when the more I thought about it near the end, and Picard's on the Stargazer, and he's lost his mind. Not lost his mind, but his mind has been manipulated.
Yes.
And he's replaying the scene in his head, and he sees all the visions around him. I thought that was neat. That was a good looking moment. And so Riker's on the other ship, and he knows what he'd figured out what's going to happen, and he knows that Picard's going to do the Picard maneuver. And I liked that. It was sort of like,
well, how do we deal with this now?
Yeah, how do we deal with Picard? Right? How do we stop Captain Picard in the Picard maneuver?
Which is, as far as I know, unstoppable. Yeah. And then Riker just
Data's like, no, it's no.
So, I'll figure it out in 2 seconds.
Yeah, that was cool. So it was like, I don't know, it was a neat tale of revenge. Maybe they could have padded it out. Maybe made a movie out of it. Made it a bit more meatier. More explain more things. But for an episode, I thought it was fun, and twists and turns, and there was a wee bit of naivety there from Picard to let the Ferengi onto the bridge and accept them on to his ship and all that stuff. A wee bit naive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty solid episode. What did you think?
Solid. Good acting.
Yeah. And I liked favourite scene was just the end with the Picard's on that bridge, and he's going crazy, and Riker shows up, and he's commanding his captain to do the right thing and to point his phaser at the ball. Destroy it with your phaser. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. I like that. It reminded me of Picard's story when he's talking about the battle and how he was on life raft and his crew were set adrift some kind of space raft, and they were
shuttlecraft, yeah.
And kind of reminded me of the Bounty, Mutiny on the Bounty, the real story, right? There's the ship, and it's the mutineers take over the ship, and they kick the captain off, and they cast him adrift on a little open boat, and him and his crew survive this epic journey, just eating gulls or any fish they could catch, starvation, and they were like on open seas for I think for 90 days or some crazy record. And he took his crew back to civilization, and it kind of reminded me of Captain Bligh and the Bounty. So maybe they were going somewhere with that. But I liked it. I would say, I would give it, like you say, it's solid. I'd give this one a 7 Treks out of 10.
Yeah.
I'd
give it a 7 as well.
Oh, cool. You want to talk about something else?
Yeah. Let's do that.